Hello, friends, young creatives and marketeers from around the world. Welcome to the lecture position for change. My name is Birger Linke, and I will be your lecturer for the upcoming 9 weeks. First of all, a big thank you to @Stars, of course, and their Global Med Academy for making these sessions of lectures possible and to invite me to share my 10 cents worth of knowledge I collected over the last 2 decades. Today, I like to tell you a little bit more about myself, where I come from, and share a few highlights of my career so far, and give you a course overview of what's up for the upcoming 9 weeks. As mentioned, my name is Birger Linke, and while I'm currently based in Beijing, I'm originally from Hamburg, Germany, where I studied graphic design, and during that time already joined the Peter Schmidt Group, which was focused on brand building and packaging design work. So I designed for clients like Beck's Beer or Milka Chocolate, but very quickly felt that the more exciting place is maybe the world of advertising to be at, especially as a young creative. So I joined Springer & Jacoby, at that time the leading agency in Germany, also lead agency for Mercedes-Benz, for example. And I had the big opportunity to work directly with the founder of that company, with Reinhard Springer, to build brands from scratch. So work on the brand positioning, the corporate identity, and also the first communication campaigns for these companies. In lack of something more exciting in the German market, I thought to get some overseas experience. So I'll send out my portfolio to agencies and found myself in Singapore just a few weeks later with Saatchi & Saatchi. Once again, I got very lucky to be with the right people at the right time, most importantly with the right clients as well. I won my first Gold Lion, and I helped with the team to make Saatchi & Saatchi the world's most awarded direct marketing agency in that time. I took up my first creative director position with the JWT in Vietnam, and shortly after got the offer from TBWA to set up the offices for them in Ho Chi Minh and Hanoi, and become their first ECD and partner, which of course was again a great opportunity for a relative young creative. So we built this agency from 0 to a few dozen people in 2 years. And within the first year of service, we were already named the most creative, most awarded agency in the country. I moved to China, bigger market, bigger opportunities. So I was leading the Ford account for Asia, Pacific, Australia, and Africa, before looking after the Olympic communication for Coke during the London Olympics. Then I joined client side to get a different perspective on things before returning to advertising in China. First working for BMW China, then for Nestle China, and most recently with VW China. I also set up my own company with partners, which is a headphone company focusing on the USP of noise cancellation, which can easily compete with the likes of Bang & Olufsen, but at a much more economical price point. And also set up my own design consultancy, where we focus on clients mainly in the wellness and healthcare sector. So let me share a few campaign highlights from the last couple of years with you. There's, of course, that first gold lion I mentioned. This was a piece of work we've done for the Republic of Singapore Navy. And the task was to recruit students to sign up for 10-year contracts with the armed forces. So we played on the insight that when you join the private sector, that your workspace is rather limited. Imagine yourself in an office cubicle for a couple of years, instead of spending time on a Navy frigate and seeing the world. So we created this floor plan in which students could stand in and experience how small that space is that they have to sit in this case, 1.2 by 1.2 meters. And that argument must have been quite a good one because students signed up above the average and we won that lion. A second example for the same client, but this time around the task was to recruit specifically naval systems specialists. These are the tech guys on board the ships. So we dig deep into youth culture, and at that time the Transformers were quite a hot topic. So we decided to create the Transmariners based on the Transformers. This was a story about these naval system specialists that prevented an attack of terrorists on Singapore, of course successfully. We sent out a DM pack that included a comic book, collectible cards, a little figurine. We also had a TV commercial in which a naval frigate transformed into a naval system specialist to take up the fight. And the campaign was followed up with an online game in which students could challenge their friends and then, of course, also sign up for interviews. The campaign became the fourth most awarded direct marketing campaign in the world. Moving on to Vietnam and the setup of TBWA in the country. As mentioned, we grew the agency from 0 to a couple of dozen in just 2 years. But we also managed to make it the most awarded agency in that country within the first year of service. And here's one example of work we did for LEGO against racism, demonstrating that children don't care about which color their friends are, but that they are indeed colorblind. This one also won us the first D&AD for the country. My move to China resulted in work for Coca-Cola. The brand in 2012 was a sponsor for the Olympic Games in London. So the task was to bring all the 1.4 billion Chinese people behind their athletes. Just at this time, they were performing halfway around the globe instead of like 4 years prior on home turf. So let me share with you the case that also resulted in a #1 hit song.
The 2008 China Olympics was a resounding success. In 2012, however, the Olympics were in London, to which the Chinese were fairly indifferent. Coke's challenge was to connect with the youth of China and reignite national pride. Coke invited the whole country to support Team China by creating the biggest anthem, Beat for China, through the submission of their beats. The first phase kicked off 100 days before the opening of the Games, with a major public event at the iconic Beijing Bird's Nest Stadium. During this event, prominent Olympic athletes and Jackie Chung, the Chinese pop legend, invited China to submit their beat and support the athletes. Simultaneously, we launched 5 online documentaries that showed that the athletes could do with your support. People could submit their beats on various platforms, from Coke's official website to screens in taxicabs, and a specially designed roadshow of mobile beat collectors that traveled through China. During this entire period, we ran an ad campaign, activated on all relevant channels, from TVCs to outdoor formats. in-store, and also packaging. Under 3 months after the campaign launch, we had unprecedented consumer participation through the number of beats submitted, from which Jackie Chung created the official Beat for China anthem. China co-created over 195 million beats in 4 months, generating 743 million online views. The Olympic anthem was downloaded over 55 million times, and Coke received CCTV coverage across 5 channels. The campaign sold over 350 million more cans than Pepsi, resulting in a 5.6% rise in weekly consumption among the 16 to 46-year age group, proving the 2012 Beat for China campaign a huge success.
After this, I decided to get a different perspective on things and join client-side for the first time. In this case, Singapore's leading gourmet food retailer, Da Paulo Group. The task was to reposition the brand and make it fit for the future, to create a strong online presence, to redesign over 300 different products and outlets nationwide. So here you can see an excerpt of products from that range that also won a red dot for high design quality. After 2.5 years and a well-established marketing calendar, I thought it's time to move back to the advertising side and back to China. Here I started to work on BMW, and then the opportunity came up to partner with WeChat. They gave us the opportunity to create the world's first ad on their platform. So to launch the One Series, which is a very nimble, dynamic entry model for BMW, we decided to once again tap into youth culture to really connect with the target audience. You might remember the snake game on the old Nokia phones. So we thought, why not recreate this game in the real world and show how the car can perform in such a closed environment. So let me show you the film. The world's first WeChat ad was then supported by an in-app game where friends could challenge each other for a high score, win great prizes, and also sign up for test drives. So finally, to my own design consultancy, we set up shop just 2 years ago and were just named among the top 200 agencies in APAC by The Drum. And I was named third most awarded CCO in China. One of the clients that contributed to that success is Livingguard, a Swiss company. As mentioned, we focus mainly on clients from the healthcare and wellness sector and help them with the market entry into China. So this company developed a fabric that destroys the coronavirus upon impact. So we were just at the perfect time to help them launch a face mask that stops the infection with the virus. To communicate this concept and this technology, which is of course not that easy to understand, we thought the best would be to do this through the packaging itself so that the consumer could experience what the product does for themselves. So I'll like to show you a case study for this. So now it would be great to also get to know you a little bit better. I know this is not a live session, so it's not that easy, but maybe you can share a little bit about yourself and then I can share it to the group in the next session. You can let me know your name, what keeps you busy and what you work on, where you're from, and maybe share one or two of your favorite projects. That's my email address. So you can email it to me. If you want, you can attach a photo of yourself as well. And then we can see who's in the class next time. That would be great. So now to the course overview for the following 9 weeks. Next week and the following week, we will focus on brand positioning, how to get from the status quo, so where the brand stands at the moment, to a vision for the brand that it can live by for many years to come. In week 4, we'll focus on finding that vision with the help of a brand letter, followed by a little assignment that I will give you. In week 5, I will give feedback on that assignment. Week 6, we'll discuss how to stand out from the crowd and disrupt the market, once again followed by a little assignment with feedback in the following week. In week 8, it will be all about execution. So how do we bring that vision that we came up with to life and get it to the consumer? And week 9, once again, there will be feedback on the assignment from the previous week. And week 10, we will wrap up the course. We can network a bit and I will answer any questions that came up during the duration of the classes. So before we start that lecture in the following week, it would be great to hear what you would like to get out of this course. Maybe you can share some questions, ideas, thoughts, just attach them to the same email that I asked you for before. And then we can make this a really useful experience for everybody. So until then, see you next week and have a good rest day. Take care.